Yamunatira Manachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janabalava Girivaradari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Radha Madhava Astasaki ki jai. Narayanam namaskrityam. Narayanam namaskrityam. Naram chaiva narottamam. Devyam sarasvatim vyasam. Devam Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayat Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 10, Prahlāda. Prahlāda, the best amongst the exalted devotees. It's text number 12. Okay. Katamadiya Jusham. Madhyaha, given by me, the Supreme Lord. Jushamanaha, always hearing or contemplating. Priyaha, extremely pleasing. Tvam, yourself. Avesha, being fully absorbed in. Mam, me, Lord Nṛsiṁhadeva. Atmani, within the core of your heart. Santam, existing. Ekam, one, the same Supreme Soul. Sarveshu, in all. Bhakteshu, living entities. Ariyajñam, the enjoyer of all ritualistic ceremonies. Isham, the Supreme Lord. Yajashva, worship. Yogena, by bhakti yoga, devotional service. Cha, also. Karma, fruitive activities. Hinman, giving up. Kata madiyan jushamhana prastvam avesha mam atmani shantam ekam sarveshu bhutesh adiyajnam isham yajashva yogena char karma himan. So we're bewildered, that's the word, to be giving class here. Very strange. This is a refrigerator. Why are we giving class in a refrigerator, right? Having class, no? We should, that's first question, okay. Then after that, I was born in the family of demons, okay. Yeah. I mean, we were born out of the United States of America. Pretty much everybody is dog eaters, right? Everybody eats hot dogs, right? So it's all dog eaters. And the thing is, you don't know what's inside those things anyway. I mean, so you could very well be eating dog meat. It's a very strange country, so many impious activities, everything else. And Srila Prabhupada comes and tries to take everybody from being the lowest of mankind, eating dogs, this kind of stuff, and raise them up to the platform of appreciating Radha Krishna Lila in Goloka. Right? I make you, Prabhupada says that devotees in ISKCON are qualified to dictate to high-class Brahmins, tell them stuff. Wow, immediately. This is called sublime, because it goes from one state to the other with nothing in between. Wow, like that. Yeah. So it's very strange whenever Bharati Bhumite Hoile, Manusha Jan Mayar, Artika Parakara Parakaru Pakara. It's very, Prabhupada says, I think it's three different lectures, he comments, anybody who takes birth in India is because they were interested in spiritual life in their last lifetime. In the European heaven, the British are the police, the Germans are the mechanics, the French are the lovers, the Swiss are the judges, what else we got here? And the Italians are the cooks. Yeah. How many people here know what pizza is? Yeah, it's Italy. Yeah. In the European hell, the British are the cooks. Name one famous British recipe. Fish and chips. There's nothing. Okay, in the European hell, the British are the cooks. The Germans are the police. The French are the mechanics. Yeah. The Swiss are the lovers. There's nobody. And the Italians are the judges. In Italian court, the judges, Yeah, rather, yeah. In an Italian court, the lawyers are almost putting the money right on the table in front of the judge. Yeah, that's right. What we do, yeah. So every country has its character, yeah, and India is for this purpose, self-realization. So we're coming from the United States and talking to all of you people who have high birth, high intelligence, good looks, everything else, and we're here. And now we're on the 7th canto. Prabhupada says one should not dare to recite beyond the first 2 cantos as long as you're still entangled in gross illicit sex. You know, first 2 cantos you can read those, but until you at least get free from gross illicit sex, you shouldn't go to the 3rd canto. 3rd canto is describing hell, you know, sense gratification, but it's, you know, Devahuti and Kardama Muni are engaging in incredible, you know, sensuous activities, right? And so if you're still doing this yourself, it's just, you know, shocking. It's too much. It's crazy. Then after that, Kapila starts describing hell. You know, the Hare Krishna hell is worse than the Muslim hell or the Christian hell. I mean, you know, this Bhagavatam hell is just, you know, really extreme. You get pulled out of your body, screaming and yelling, and then you're forced to go on, you know, down this road with your feet burning and the heat and sun, and dogs with steel teeth biting you, and envious old women attacking you and torturing you, right? And this is just the road to hell, right? Right? This is on the way there. You know, after you get there, okay, yeah. So it's a very progressive literature. The first canto is a preface. What's the purpose of the book? Under what circumstances was it written? What are the qualifications of the speaker? What are the qualifications of the audience? It's all in the first canto, no? Who's Maharaj Parikshit? What's happening? What's the whole purpose of this thing? Yeah, Krishna Swadharma Upakate, Jnana Dharma Saha. Okay. And then the second canto, Sukadeva Goswami, you know, starts to talk. And he presents everything. So it's very systematic. We can go on for quite some time, but the other topic today, the Bhagavatam is in a class by itself. The other Puranas look like stars in the sky, very brilliant, very sharp, very bright, until the moon of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam comes up. Oops, he's bigger than we are. I mean, it's like, yeah. So big scholars, even atheists, say that the Bhagavatam, for the beauty of the poetry, for the sophistication of the grammar, and for the depth of the philosophy, it's not an exaggeration. It's in a class by itself. I know very big professors who, until they came in contact with ISKCON, they were thinking Śrīmad Bhāgavatam was for women and children, very emotional stories. You know. But then I heard them telling their friends, big Sanskritists. I thought the Sanskrit in the Bhagavatam was inferior, but now I'm beginning to realize it's my Sanskrit that's inferior. I couldn't appreciate it because it's beyond, you know, what I learned since I was 5 years old. You know, so deep. So 7th canto is very, you know, it's very advanced. Where is it on Krishna's body? First 2 cantos are his feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, his arms. Yeah, so very. In the beginning, we're so embarrassed, so upset for what we've done, Sambandha, that we just want to kiss the feet. You know, please, thank you, forgive me. Sambandha Abhideya, then we start the kiss of the hand. Yes, I can do that. You know, so it goes up. You know, so this is very advanced. And it's still discussing the same thing as karma, mukti, liberation, dharma, right? But each time higher, right? And now we're looking at it from the viewpoint of Prahlāda Maharaj. The question is, if Krishna is equal to everybody, then how could he help the demigods? You know, and it was in the 6th canto. How could he help the demigods? And so then Sukadeva Goswami then tells his story, how he's equal to everybody. However you approach him, right? How he reciprocates. So there's a story then of Shishupal, and Shishupal got liberation, right? Very difficult. How did he get liberation? Austerities, penances, yeah. How many times did he insult Krishna? Just counting, yeah. And that's how he got liberation. I mean, every day you can go in front of the deities and say some insulting thing to them, right? Right? You can come up with new insults every day. Yeah. I mean, it's not a recommended way to go to liberation. Also, his liberation was a certain kind of liberation. So that's why the story is there. He's explaining, yes, Krishna is equal to everybody. So, my mind, I did a lot of work in interfaith dialogue, so I'm always thinking of Christian, examples of this and stuff. But they have the same idea, same point. At the end of the Bible, what is it? The last one? The very last book where all these horrible things are happening. Not Ecclesiastes. Apocalypse, the apocalyptic stuff, One angel comes to somebody and says, hey, you used to be a really advanced devotee, but now you're just nothing, you're not even a big demon, right? You don't even hate God, You are lukewarm like the spew from my mouth. It's like you just become like drool. So he's telling him, if you're not going to love God, at least hate him. Don't just marginalize even, don't just care about him, forget him. So that's the story, right? And Prahlāda's the example. Actually, it's not a story of Prahlāda, it's a story of Hiranyakasipu, and how he was, by hating God and everything else, he got this opportunity. But Prahlāda, of course, is there with all his character and activities and so forth. And recently there's been this movie came out, right? The movie came out very good, very nice. The whole world's changing because of Prabhupada. Everybody. So, and then actually the water's falling on the book here. Those drops. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's okay, and then not too much. It should be okay. It'll dry out and be wrinkled, but So then in this section, then it's this, what's happening here. Remember, back it up here a little bit. It's describing the Lord here. What happened here? Because this is verse number 12, right? Okay, yeah. So then everything is kind of over, and the Nṛsiṁhadeva is pacified. And then what happens? He's pacified, and then what happens? Yeah, he's offering him benedictions. Would you like this or that? Or I don't know. Everybody likes something different. Would you like a car? Or would you like, ice cream? Whatever it is. Yeah. If I'm going back to the spiritual world, and there's a really, really good stationery store along the way with all kinds of notebooks and pens and pencils. Does that attract you? Having different kinds of notebooks and pens and stuff? No. I myself is like, yeah. So everybody has different attractions. And then, of course, very, very beautiful prayers, right? Comments by reaction by Prahlāda, very, very famous about how he deals with this. Because it's very universal. Everybody here, this is what's going to happen, right? As you advance in devotional service, right? All these different temptations are going to start coming right? Because they're in the heart, we have to bring them out. So all these things are going to come. Well, one devotee, Prabhupada's servant, everything, said that Prabhupada said, every single psychological circumstance you can encounter is in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. So if you take all these stories to heart, whoever you see in Sankirtan preaching or whenever you look in the mirror, right, yeah. And sometimes I put these into like modern ISKCON situations, and everybody is shocked. Wow, this is happening. Didn't happen when Prabhupada was here. It happened 5,000 years ago. It's the same thing, that we've come to higher levels. Should I do that? I was trained as an actor. You start telling it, and people, wow, actually happened? Yeah. There's one temple in Italy, very famous temple in Italy, very powerful. So about 2 weeks ago, there was big kirtan going on, Sunday feast. So many people were there. The temple president came in. He'd been a very big Sankirtan devotee, book distributor, collecting a lot of money, everything else, very prominent, doing Sankirtan. And everybody was glorifying when he came in, Jaya, Jaya, Prabhu, Silk Dhoti, 2 cell phones. Yeah. But it's a problem because they had a Food for Life program, which is not very glorious because they were feeding all these alcoholic people and nobody really wanted to do it and stuff. But one devotee took it up and people weren't even really helping him much, so he even had a chance to change his dhoti. He was trying to get his rounds done. He was over by the altar chanting, just concentrating on his rounds, and didn't even notice this guy come in. And so, the temple president felt very insulted by this and started like chastising him right in front of all the guests and everybody else and so forth, so on. Yeah. Have you got it? You've already figured it out? Have you? Yeah. Okay. So then, so this starts going on right then. But even more complicated was that the temple president's daughter, on the recommendation of the GBC, had been married to this Food for Life guy and so on like that and stuff. So yeah. So she starts defending her husband and saying, people like you do Sankirtan just to fill up your bellies, and it goes on. And finally she ran out crying and came back in covered with water, but it wasn't water, it was gasoline from the lawnmower, and she set herself on fire right in the Sunday feast. You recognize the story? What is it? Yeah. Who? Yes, the Shiva Daksha Yagna. Who is Daksha? Who is Lord Brahma? The GBC secretary. Who is the Food for Life guy? Yeah, but it sound impossible? It's the kind of thing you read about in ISKCON, and it's like, after a while you kind of get used to it. Wow, it's like, okay, another one, But no, but it's just, amazing. People who grow up in ISKCON, it's just amazing how I'm shocked by them, but for them it's like, okay, this is kind of like that. Yeah. So but if you know these, if you're a very successful Sankirtan person, very good at it, this is Vishnu Yagna, but you notice I'm starting to become really rude to other devotees. This is just like Daksha. Hey, better be careful here. It doesn't have a good conclusion. So this is a very nice story, isn't it? Prahlāda Maharaj. And then after this beautiful response by Prahlāda, right, of saying what is our, he says, you're my master, I'm your servant. He's actually giving instructions to the Lord, which you can see like this is what a servant, it's accepted because the servant's accepted. He's just telling it, this is part of my service, you forgot. You're my master, I'm your servant. And there's nothing else necessary in this thing now. Let's go on here, And then Lord Nṛsiṁhadeva starts offering him material benedictions. I already did that, okay, sorry. Then Lord Nṛsiṁhadeva has four conclusions. Okay, we took care of that. Now then he says, now I'll tell you what I really want you to do. So I guess yesterday's verse was, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Prahlāda, a devotee like you never desires any kind of material opulences, either in this life or the next. Nonetheless, I order you to enjoy the opulences of the demons in this material world. I order you to enjoy the opulences of the demons in this material world, acting as their king until the end of the duration of the time occupied by Manu. And today, it does not matter that you are in the material world. You should always continuously hear the instructions and messages, kata, given by me, and always be absorbed in thought of me, for I am the Supersoul, existing in the core of everyone's heart. Therefore, give up fruitive activities and worship me. So this is the, it's yeyatam mam prapajante tam stataiva bhajami aham. But this is the meditation that Lord Nṛsiṁhadeva is giving. I am the son of Nanda Mahārāja, I am Vaikuntapati, I am, Purusha avatar. No, he's saying I'm the Supersoul, right? And you should meditate on me, as the Supersoul, Paramatma. And later it will be explained that Vishwanath Chakravarti says that Prahlāda Maharaj Nitya Siddha and Sadhana Siddha. He's in a certain level, certain level. So this is the different kinds of people. He's a very great devotee, very nice person, but at the same time he has certain things he's dealing with, like us. Okay, so you should always hear about me, okay, and be absorbed in thought of me. I am the super soul existing in everyone's heart. Therefore, give up fruitive activities and worship me. And then 2 more verses. My dear Prahlāda, while you are in this material world, you will exhaust all the reactions of pious activities by feeling happiness. And by acting piously, doing austerities, you will neutralize impious activities. Because of the powerful time factor, you will give up your body. But the glories of your activity will be sung in the upper planetary systems. And being fully freed from all bondage, you will return home back to Godhead. And he finishes by saying, one who always remembers your activities and my activities also, and who chants the prayers you have offered, becomes free in due course of time from the reaction of material activities. So it's basically mukti. A lot of this. Feelings are there. Shantaras, dasyaras. Very sober like that. So then Prabhupada's purport today's verse. Where is it here? It's very nice. It's incredible. Doesn't matter. Katamadiyam yushamana priyastvam. It doesn't matter that you're in the material world. You should always continuously hear the instructions and messages given by me, and always be absorbed in thought of me, for I am the super soul, existing in the core of everyone's heart. Therefore, give up fruitive activities and worship me. When a devotee becomes materially very opulent, Prabhupada says, one should not think that he is enjoying the results of his fruitive activities. A devotee in this material world uses all material opulences for the service of the Lord, because he is planning how to serve the Lord with those opulences. When a devotee becomes materially very opulent, one should not think that he is enjoying the results of his fruitive activities. Externally, it seems to be. Because he is always planning how to serve the Lord with those opulences, as advised by the Lord himself. Okay. Krishna is telling us how to use these things. Whatever material opulence is within his possession, he engages to expand the glories and service of the Lord. A devotee never performs any fruitive or ritualistic ceremony to enjoy the results of such karma. Rather, a devotee knows that karma kanda is meant for the less intelligent man. Narottam Das Thakur says in his Prema Bhakti Chandrika, karma kanda, jnana kanda, kevala visharabandha. That karma kanda and jnana kanda, fruitive activities and speculation about the Lord, are like pots of poison. One who is attracted to karma kanda and jnana kanda spoils his existence as a human being. Therefore, a devotee is never interested in karma kanda or jnana kanda, but is simply interested in favorable service to the Lord, anukulyena Krishna nushilanam, or cultivation of spiritual activities in devotional service. So a very standard purport. How many times have we heard Prabhupada chanting the Hare Krishna mantra? But it goes deeper and deeper and deeper. And so, if you are a Bhakti Vedanta candidate, any Bhakti Vedanta candidates here right now? Yeah. Then you're reading the Bhagavad Gita as it is, right? Again, but now you start to notice, unlimited numbers of references and backdowns and that Prabhupada's putting in there, beginning this, so it's just spiral, same things again and again, but with more connection. Madhyama Adhikari is very determined to chant his rounds and follow the process, but not so well based in scriptural resources always, right? Yeah, yeah, and not hasn't developed a logic, right? Yeah, yeah. So Uttamadhikari is relation to the Shastras and maybe different Bhavas, but for sure you got to have a personal relationship with Prabhupada's books. Now, everybody will have a different relationship. Everybody just approach them in different ways and stuff, you know. And then scriptural resource in any circumstance, yeah, it's a part of your reality now. But then you have to develop your logic. You know, this goes here, that connects here, this is the same as that, these things like that. And then it's like, you know, I remember I was upstairs in the office in the Bhaktivedanta Institute in San Francisco, maybe like something like about 1987 or something. I was initiated in 1974, so maybe about like 1987. I was up there standing behind the desk, and I suddenly realized that I was always happy. Yeah, it was strange, you know. Yeah. Something would make me unhappy, but my intelligence was automatically kick in and adjust it, put it back in proper perspective. You know, I said, "Wow, it's weird. I'm always happy." Yeah. It was just a fact. Yeah. So we see the stages, Yadoshrada, Sadhu Sangha, and you start, hey, wow, it's working. One after another. Yeah. And, of course, there's almost no credit to ourselves. It's the fact that our Acharya is pulling us, for 50 years, pulling us. God, okay. What's the Nishchayana, doesn't give up. So these purports and everything else, we're hearing them again and again, but he's recommending to Prahlāda, and of course Prahlāda's very specific. We were saying he says, I'm born in the family of demons, and I have a tendency to be attracted to these things, so why are you coming along, tempting me with this stuff? I'm already attracted, so please, don't like offering this stuff to me. Karma kanda, maybe we're free from that, right? Maybe most people here are free from karma kanda. If you take birth in India, you're kind of, in some ways, free from it, at least in the gross sense, Some ways Indians are incapable of enjoying like Westerners, like that. My good friend Rasaraj Das, from Bhaktivedanta Institute, he would take one piece of cheesecake and get intoxicated, like a little Western like that. Whereas if you're American, you usually eat 2 cheesecakes before that happens. It's just a whole different body and everything and so on, So in this gross enjoyment, Prabhupada says both, I know what we should, okay, whatever, cover the book. The rain is falling on the book. Yeah. It's strange, it's not falling on me, it's falling on the book. I don't know why. Okay. Prabhupada says that both Muslim and British, overlords preferred Hindu clerks because they weren't excessive. They knew these guys. I wouldn't go stealing money for all these weird things. Yeah. He said, okay, both the Hindus and the Muslims preferred having all their clerks being Hindus, Muslims and the British. So maybe karma kanda is not so attractive. But jnana kanda is mental speculation, right? Yeah. And, I don't know, if you get into you start getting into very sophisticated, what's it go? Nadanam, najanam, nasundarim, kapitam, va, jagadisha, kamayai. Yeah. Mental speculation about these things, poetical language described in poetical words and so on. So there is so much literature in the world of this incredibly intellectual people coming up with these strange, strange stories and strange, beautiful things like that. There used to be a conference at one university on the East Coast in the United States, big university, on Nobel was aesthetics within science. There was a Nobel laureates conference on the study of aesthetics, beauty within science, and they would invite all these people like Schrödinger and Planck and all these very big people, and then they would come and they would like to come and they would talk about, how their experiences in science were just full of like beautiful things. There's what is it, Maxwell's equation? What is Maxwell's equation? What does that do? Remember? I think, as I remember, Maxwell came up with an equation which could relate magnetic force to electricity. If you have so much magnetic force, you can describe exactly how much electricity will come out. And if you have so much electricity, you can describe exactly how much magnetism will come out. Wow. Yeah, yeah. So one of these Nobel laureates is sitting there describing it. He said it's like he's like a symphony. He has, this thing he introduces, and he introduces that, and this and that, and you can see it's just not going to work. It's just not going to work, and this tension is coming, and this is the right moment. He introduces Maxwell's constant, and everything works. And it's like, it's beautiful. Yeah, 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 yeah. And they're describing the almost inconceivable pleasures of the mind. How much is Lord Brahma enjoying? Can we even conceive of it? No, it says it's incomprehensible in our level of existence. Lord Brahma is playing 25-dimensional chess games in his mind. Yeah, yeah. It's almost inconceivable mental pleasures. Yeah. But that's jnana kanda. And of course, what do you speculate about God? You go on, God is like this and that, and really try to avoid God, but speculating on God, right? Because He is the greatest thing. And you find literature, people talking about God, but they really last thing they want to meet is God. What's the guys called? There's one group and it started in the United States maybe 150 years ago. Can't remember what they were. But Hridayananda Maharaj was saying that everybody jokes about them as they are, Unitarians. Yeah, Unitarian. That's a great. Okay, I shouldn't say their name. Unitarians. Yeah, yeah. They're always talking about God, but they hope they don't meet Him. Yeah. My friend Bharata Das, he had a dream. In the dream, he made some homemade bread, and he made a sandwich with nice bean sprouts and cheese and everything else, and put it on his altar to offer it. And he's chanting, Om Vrishna Prayagras Om Vrishna. Then he heard something. He looked up, and Krishna had come, and Krishna had picked the sandwich up, was looking at it and saying, "Oh, what a nice sandwich, Bharata! Is this for me?" And in his mind, he was thinking, "Oh, Krishna actually came. He's going to eat my sandwich." Yeah, yeah. So you love to speculate about God and like this and all these fantastic mental things, but you hope that, hopefully you'll find God as a result of it. Like that. Yeah, so that's jnana kanda. Jnana kanda. Prabhupada's very practical, no? What was it? One of these jnana kanda books, I think it was Brahmananda, said he read the whole thing and it was so flowery. When I was at the university, one Buddhist guy came there, and the biggest hall on the campus was packed full for this guy, maybe like 800, 900 people there, and he gave his whole speech. Then he finished off, he was from some Tibetan guy or something. Then he said, God is a circle with its circumference. God is a circle with no circumference and its center everywhere. Yeah. So some kid may ask, well, why do you call it a circle? Yeah, but he's trying. It's like I was trying to think about this for 3 days, and my dog finally saved me. He was like, yeah. Think about it. God is a circle with no circumference and its center everywhere. It's like, oh yeah. Okay. If the barber of Seville shaves the face of every man in Seville who doesn't shave his own face, does the barber of Seville shave his own face? That's another one like that. And it's unbelievable. I guess you don't get into these things. So karma kanda, getting for fruitive activities, and then jnana kanda for all these mental pleasures. And the same. What does it say? What's the phrase here? Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Karma kanda, jnana kanda, kevala, vishara bandha. They're all poison. You're enjoying these subtle things, but in the end, it's poison. It's poison. So devotee, by hearing and stuff like that, surpasses all these things. And maybe you have this experience. Sometimes you're put in a position where you're forced to enjoy, You don't even really want to be in that position. You nice place nice temple to serve at, nice accommodations, nice building, everything else, respect, whatever and stuff. And you're just like, God, but everybody else is gone, and you have to do it. And I'm thinking of a specific circumstance. Sometimes Krishna is forcing you to do it. Prabhupada says, devotees should not be too disturbed if you have strange dreams. You may have dreams of having sex with your mother. Okay, yeah, wow, yeah. And Prabhupada says, no, because you have these desires in your heart. And if you don't get rid of them, then you're going to have to take birth as a buffalo and have sex with your mother, right? So he allows devotees, right, to experience them. He even forces them, to experience these in dreams, and then you can finish it off in the dream, or else whatever you desire it, but you can make your choice in the dreams and so on. So devotees are subjected to this karma, like Prahlāda, and then we have to, you have to go ahead and enjoy the prestige, the position, these things, and simultaneously, by doing austerities, but then they're not austerities, because boy, by doing this austerity, I'm getting this, free from this stuff. This is nice. I'm glad this opportunity is being forced on me, because, now I can finish this off. And you see, year by year, becoming less and less involved. Experience that. You see new devotees coming in, they're freaking out about everything, and you're sitting there, hey, it's going to happen, fellow. It's like, who cares? Let's focus on the real important stuff here. So that's all I have to say, really, kind of any koi prashna hai? Mein Hindi seekh raha hu. Kripya cigarette mat pijiyega. I don't know. Anybody here? That's allowed. Okay, okay. Behind you. There's,
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for nectarian class. I was just thinking, bhakti is so sweet. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is the essence of all scriptures. But still we see that sometimes, like the Bhagavatam says, bhakti pareshanu bhava viraktir. As you take the food, your body is nourished and you feel satisfied. But sometimes as a practitioner, we don't feel nourished.
Yeah.
And also the mind hovers that, definitely there are so many wonderful good examples also.
Yeah.
Recently I was talking to some group and they also asked me a question that you say by performing bhakti you'll come to mode of goodness.
Yeah.
But the person asked me, I could see many devotees who are practicing since a long time and they're not up to that point like that. So it won't inspire them. So what do you suggest like that? That, for example, you are asking someone to take up to Krishna consciousness, then that it will nourish our heart and we will realize God. And they would say that there are examples that we could see for practicing in many long time and it's not working for them. So how you will say that it's working for others?
So one result is that we get Krishna prema and everything else, but they're saying, you're not even in the mode of goodness. How should we believe the rest of it? Shrimbatam swakata krina shrimbatam swakata shrimbatam. I turn my hearing aids up and again. Shrimbatam swakata Krishna punya shravana kirtana hriyantas tohi abadurani vidunoti suhitsatam. The purpose there. I think of examples because the real purpose, like you're saying, is Krishna prema, and that's the real purpose. So you don't have to be, Shuddha Sattva, or something like that externally. All Krishna has to do is get your senses so that they're reasonably functional, and that the food can get past your mouth into your stomach, right? Yeah, and then it can go to work, and you can digest it, and it can go into your body. But you don't have to go to the dentist and have all your teeth aligned and everything else and so forth, so on. So that's our main point, is that, you'll see, practically speaking, Buddhimanta, you know him? He was, very powerful book distributor, everything else, had good association with him. He was the first person to distribute 100 big books in one day. He was in Los Angeles, which gets very hot in the summer, and all this smog and being produced, kind of sound familiar, Bombay. But there they have all these big parking lots, you know, with tar and stuff. And he would go out every day on these parking lots and distributing books. And his Sankirtan diet was 1 jar of peanut butter, 1 jar of sour cream, and 1 raw cauliflower. That was his Sankirtan diet. And he was fired up. He died of brain cancer at 36 years old. Yeah. So this is Kshatriya, right? Live fast, die young, and have a good-looking corpse. That's Kshatriya, right? It's a different dharma, no? You know, ladies have a different dharma than men, yeah. You know, but Krishna, you know, yeah, Krishna can take all these things. He needs some sentimental women, right? We need a few every now and again. He needs some, you know, brave people who, you know, are going to burn themselves out or die in the battle, you know. Okay, yeah. So I keep wanting to mention names of devotees. We're not supposed to do that. Anyway, one very senior devotee, this and that, who was very intelligent but who would do strange things. You know what I'm talking about. He became our GBC secretary after when Prabhupada left the whole Mahācārya era. And anyway, he just understood people so well, you know. But so Buddhimata wanted to take karate lessons, you know. And I have a black belt in karate. He said, okay, Hanuman, you take him to the different schools, you know. Yeah, I know you know all the schools around here. Oh God! So I'm intelligent. Okay, so I took him to Tai Chi and you know stuff. He said, forget that. You know. So finally he settled on Taekwondo, which is it's like it's everybody's very okay. And the instructor's name was Roger Bliss. Roger Bliss was the instructor's name. He loved Buddhimata. He loved him. So we were going there, working out, sweating and stuff. Then the way back to the temple, he told me to pull over one liquor store. So he ran inside, and he came out with a full 1 liter bottle of 7-Up, and he said, they have the coldest refrigerator around here, Then he took it off, Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu, and drank the entire thing in one breath. You can imagine what that does to your body. Ice cold carbonic acid, citrus, and sugar, right? Yeah. Then he told me, he said, if I hadn't become a devotee, this would have been beer. Yeah. So there's your answer. Okay, we can handle 1 liter of 7-Up, but beer is kind of off the range here. And so he distributed, so many books, more books than there are stars in the sky. And he was the first person to distribute 100 big books in one day. He came back to the temple and he wanted to go in and tell Prabhupada. It was in the afternoon. But the secretary said, Prabhupada's busy, he's busy, he doesn't want to talk to anybody, you can't go in. He said, well, Prabhupada will want to hear this. He doesn't want to hear anything, he just can't go in. So he jumped over the table, went past the secretary, and Prabhupada looked up and he told me this. He said, what is it? What do you want? And he said, Prabhupada, I just distributed 100 of your big books today. And he said, Prabhupada was just, his eyes got big. Then he looked for some gift and there was no gift. So he took the shirt off of his back and gave it to him and said, thank you. So, he got things, he adjusted things well enough. Yeah, and you see that, well enough. Okay, we can live with that, And then you got the complete satisfaction of Krishna's pure devotee. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. So it works. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you very much for a beautiful lecture. I have 2 questions.
Oh, it's like Madhuri. No? She got 2 babies from the mantra. No?
One is,
can I use your mantra? Yeah.
One is like, Maharaj, you mentioned about Christians and Muslims. You mentioned about that.
Yeah.
So, like, my question is, whether Christian, Muslim, or Sanatan Dharma follower, they have same rules after their death, or like they differ? Like, what is?
Do they go to a Muslim heaven or? Yeah. I mean, we were doing one interfaith dialogue in South America. It was very good. There was a Catholic priest. He came, and then there was a Baha'i person there, which is Islam. I mean, it's Islam. Kind of, one side there. Then they were kind of kind of well-to-do, like formal people. Then there was, what else was there? Muslim guy, Very nice. It was a very good thing, and everybody talking very nicely, But the guy who was was also Muslim. No, he was Sufi, and he'd just taken off as a young man, looking for God and everything else. And he met was the guy Fakir, whatever it is, a Muslim guy, in someplace in the Middle East. And he said, what are you? He said, I'm Sufi. He said, I want to be like you, whatever it is. And he took him as a guru. And I could just see it. If you come in contact with ISKCON, by now he would be a GBC secretary and everything else. He was just, very intelligent. He had followers, very nice. And he was describing that it's like, going up a mountain. If you're on one side, you may have, maybe you can use a bicycle or something, and then you can get a cable car. Other side, maybe you got to drive all the way up. He said, yeah, but it's just different. It's where you are, what the time is, what the circumstances, and so different people are going to have different ways, of approaching it. But it said as you go up, you should start seeing the differences start becoming less. Down here they're really different, the way we do things and stuff. But as you go up, you should start seeing that people are just, they're starting to look at Majjhimadhikari Muslim, who's actually following the Prophet Muhammad and everything else. You look at it and it's like, we see there's some differences, but we know that we're both, going to the same God, and we expect, we can work together to now a lot of things. We both, in terms of taking care of distributing money fairly, we're both against divorce, we're both against abortion. Yeah, a lot of stuff. I think it was Bill Clinton and the people, the leaders of the world were perturbed by overpopulation. Said, hey, let's just have abortion on demand. Women can just go in and pay 25 cents and have an abortion. It was like that. Let's set it up so all over the world everybody can have abortion just cheaply, cleanly, and that'll solve the problem. All of the religious leaders in the world reacted. The Muslims, the Sunni, the Shia, like everybody. They all said, no. We're not in control so much, but on this, we are going to fight you. We are going to fight you. Religious leaders, the political leaders in the world were shocked. They just backed down, dropped it, ran away from it like anything. God, all these people, they agree on something, And these guys are too dangerous for us even to think about, So yeah, on that point, Majjhimadhikari is everything else. There are so many points. And so there was this point as we get higher, we start seeing the differences disappearing. And so what is heaven? The description of heaven in what's it, Nanda-Kanana Gardens is so similar to, what the marry 25 virgins and you can drink all the alcohol you want, don't get intoxicated. It sounds almost exactly like, the descriptions in the Tamasic Puranas and so on. So I think, the result is kind of the same. In the Bible, in the Quran, so many places, Skanda Purāṇa, the Book of Mormon, it's all describing pure love of God, but it's not emphasized, right? Is Gokulananda in the Bhagavad Gita? Somya Vapu? He saw the universal form, he saw the four-arm form, and then he saw a very beautiful form. And Prabhupada says, but it's, poop. But if you're looking, and you saw, it was beyond the four-arm form, it was a very beautiful form. So if you're looking, you see that it's there, but it's this, the Quran and the Bible, and Prabhupada is saying, are like Tamasic Puranas for certain people. People were weird. It was tough, And so then, there are different descriptions and different goals are given to stimulate people, but the ultimate goal, it's the same. Yeah. Okay, you want to go to?
And one more, Maharaj. Thank you, Maharaj. One more, we call Swarup Siddhi, like Srila Prabhupada writes Swarup Siddhi, attains one eternal position.
Yeah.
So the liberation of Sarupya and Sarupya and other liberations, are they same, or Swarup Siddhi is different, or they are same?
Okay. I mean,
Reaching Vaikuntha is Sarup Siddhi? Or?
yeah. I mean, Swarup. I mean, that's different. Sometimes it's just described as your Varna ashram, situation. I mean, if you Swarup means to understand your Varna ashram situation. But so it means, I mean, what is your ultimate situation? And so this, I think, it can be taken all the way to Goloka, in Sarup City. Whereas Sarup Mukti, it's just talking about them, just, getting a form, right? A form which could be anywhere. It's Mukti. Usually it's concerned with Vaikuntha and that kind of place like that. Whereas Sarup City means, whatever your form is. And usually we're talking about realizing your form in Goloka as a cowherd boy or as a flute, that kind of stuff. But the four kinds of liberation, Samipya, Sa-arsti, Sa-rupya, Sa-lokya, you got there, Ekatvam. Those are usually just talking about Vaikuntha. Yeah. You're thinking. I can tell. He's thinking. That's all I know about them. Yeah. I can't remember any specific citation. Yeah.
So once somebody reaches Vaikuntha, he is like eternally situated in Vaikuntha, or like is there in?
Even in Brahma, Prabhupada says or somewhere, someplace, that there are people in the Brahma Jyoti, sitting there meditating, soham. And when the Sankirtan parties pass through the Brahma Jyoti, going to the material world, they hear the kirtan. And so you can even make progress from the Brahma Jyoti to go to a form. Well, it's in Chaitanya Charitamrita, I think it says, by worshipping the Purusha avatars, Mahavishnu, you can become promoted to the worship of Mahavishnu. That's the first eternal position. Other two Purusha avatars are not eternal position. But there you get there in Chantaras. Okay, then by worshipping Purusha avatar, you can be promoted to Vaikuntapati. By worshipping him, you can be promoted to the worship of Lila avatars. Ram is mixed with some Sakya. And then you can be promoted to, Mathura and Dwarka, and then Goloka. Yeah. Does Mother Yashoda know that Krishna is running out at night and playing with girls? No. Yes. I mean, there's just, keeps on going more and more. So yeah, but then Ramananda Roy, he's describing higher and higher, and then he comes to Vrindavan, and he says, but there's a hierarchy. This is higher than Vaikuntha and these places, but there's a hierarchy. But he says you can only really appreciate it from tatasta sta. From in a neutral position, you can see, the cowherd boys are more intense than the servants, and the mothers are more intense than, But he said, really, you can only appreciate this if you're in tatasta sta, a neutral position. And he said, well, who's in a neutral position? So everybody. So he said, actually, the best position is your position. Whatever it is. It's not that the flute is hankering to become, something else. No, and nobody wants the flute to become something else. Yeah, it's in Shantaras, right? Yeah, but it's Shantaras is unlimited. Yeah, so everybody's happy. Yeah. Okay, maybe one final last
Thank you,
comment
Maharaj.
or question here. I don't know. Yeah, way in the back. Okay. Well, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. I was curious, you were mentioning at the end that we're given these things, these opulence, by just worshipping Krishna, and we're meant to enjoy them. And I was curious how one, with using their intelligence, realized that just by the proximity of being around Krishna or Srila Prabhupada or their guru, they get things that are not theirs. It's like you're just benefiting from the proximity of somebody who's wonderful.
Yeah.
But you can enjoy them and it feels dirty. So how do you enjoy them in a right attitude where it's not yours, you don't deserve it, but yet you're meant to appreciate it and enjoy it in a right perspective without feeling like a dirty thief?
The fundamental principle is that Krishna is the aggressor. Right? We think, how can I know? That's Maya. We have no independent knowledge potency. But as soon as we're covered by ahankara, we think, well, I can know, I can do, I can always think. We can't even know. We know always in relationship to Krishna, right? Little children. I mean, somebody gives an example. If the world was full of nothing but 3-year-old children all of a sudden, how long would they last? Maybe they could couple little few things, but they would very quickly, they would die. But yeah, they're 3 years, they have free will, they can do stuff. And when they're directed, they can do well. It's amazing with little things, right? So that's what we are. We're Tatastha Shakti. We have to be under the control of Durga or Radha. That's our choice. Yeah. And so how will I do this? How will I know that? How will I advance in devotional service? The thing is that always it's because Krishna is helping us. He arranges circumstances. He lets you do something, and like that, afterwards you feel, ashamed, that you were enjoying you cooked all this for Krishna, and then you just, put the deities to rest as quickly as you could so you could sit down and have a feast. So Krishna keeps arranging, like my friend Bharata with the sandwich, right? Krishna keeps arranging for us. He educates us, and it's gradual. It's gradual. I was mentioning, as a sannyasi, when you're going around, so many people are asking you, Maharaj, what would you like for lunch? Ever get that question? Maharaj, what would you like for lunch today? What should I cook for you? Right? Yeah, it's just, but now I've come to the point, whenever I hear that, my intelligence my mind goes, well, I could whatever I want, I could have them cook this and that. She's a good cook, But then my intelligence now kicks in, and because right away, my mind says, you're not going to enjoy that, you're not going to enjoy that, you're not going to enjoy that. It's all these things. If you're trying to enjoy them on a sensuous level, doesn't work. And so my intelligence kicks in, and what they're asking me is, what do I want to offer to my Istadevata? So somehow or other, I've been stuck with Lord Nṛsiṁhadeva. We've been together for so long. And so then automatically, then I might just start putting in that perspective. Okay, here's this opulence. I'm here. I'm in the ashram. All this stuff is coming to me. Just being a sannyasi. Then what do I do? And I think, well, okay, what would Lord Nṛsiṁhadeva like? And he's kind of he likes spaghetti. I mean, he's kind of like he has work to do. Radha and Krishna, I kind of think, don't like spaghetti. It's like they're like, everything is fine, and there's the spicing and all this kind of very fine stuff when you're cooking for them, right? But Lord Nṛsiṁhadeva is kind of like a functional guy, work to do and stuff and so on. But that's my nature and stuff. Maybe might be my swarupa, my conditioning now. So that's what happens, and I think I start meditating like that, and then I've noticed that. Always works out for how should I cook? People are coming, you think, how much should I cook? What should I cook? I just cook for the deities. And there's always enough, and everybody is satisfied with what you cook like that. So you'll just learn that it works, And then automatically you just, different levels then, you start, and then you're enjoying, but there's absolutely no, Prabhupada says in the purport here, there's no personal enjoyment. No independent personal enjoyment. After a while, it becomes incomprehensible. You can't even figure out how you ever thought you could enjoy independently. The only satisfaction is just, in Krishna, the devotees and all this kind of stuff. So Prahlāda is very, very nice. Very nice example. And myself, there's a lot of these same things happening here. But that's the whole point too, is that we have, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam now, and we can see that in our service we're aspiring for very, very subtle accomplishments and subtle changes now, which are beyond this thing of just getting free from karma, so on. So on. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Now we can enjoy prasad. Without.
Here you go.
The book is wet.
Hare Krishna. So we'd like to express our gratitude to His Holiness Hanumatpresaka Swami Maharaj by loudly chanting 3 times. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. And also now for the pleasure of Shri Giriraj, Her Grace Achyut Gopi Mataji has come here. She'll be performing, singing for the pleasure of Giriraj. So devotees are kindly requested, you can join the kirtan. And there's also an announcement from Adikesha Prabhu.
Yeah, before she begins the kirtan, there is a very happy announcement. This festival is